6th of November 2024, scheduled for 9 o'clock until 12 o'clock. We're hoping that we are going to be done with the meeting much earlier than 12 o'clock. It is a virtual meeting held via Microsoft Teams. My name is Muzi Mkhize. I'm going to be chairing this meeting, and with me is Mr. Nhlanhla Gumede, who is a full-time regulator member, primarily responsible for electricity regulation, as a member of the various committees of the energy regulator, and also a member of this petroleum pipeline subcommittee. Secondly, I've got Advocate Nomalanga Sithole, who is the CEO of NERSA, a member of various committees of the energy regulator, as well as a member of this petroleum pipelines subcommittee. Also got Mr. Fungai Sibanda, who is the chairperson of the ITGC, is a part-time regulator member, sitting in various committees, as well as a member of this petroleum pipelines subcommittee. Last but not least, I've got Madam Nomfundo Maseti, who is full-time regulator member, primarily responsible for pipe gas regulation, a member of various committees of the energy regulator, as well as a member of this petroleum pipeline subcommittee. We will be proceeding in this manner with the participation of these members and get presentations from the management and staff of NERSA. We are now going to deal with the adoption of the agenda. The agenda primarily has 3 items in the main, which items then will be dealt with as per the published agenda. And then members, just by short of hands, if you support the agenda as provided. Thank you, Mr. Gumede. Thank you, Advocate Sithole. Thank you, Mr. Sibanda. Thank you, Madam Maseti. I also support adoption of the agenda as presented. And we're moving on now to the declaration of interest. Any interest to declare verbally on this platform? I see no hands, and I take it that there are no declarations of interest to be made by the members, including myself. But anyway, I'm just appealing to members to fill in the declaration of interest forms and return them to the Secretariat, Madam Masonganye. Same management, if you can just assist in filling the forms. We'll then proceed to item number 5, which is the Island View Storage Pty Trading as Bidvest 10 terminals, the financial instrument for financial provision for the rehabilitation of land. If you can just assist us, Madam Twa, the executive manager, together with your team. You've got 2.5 minutes to present. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, members. Good morning, colleagues. As indicated, the Bidvest 10 terminal has a bank guarantee as their preferred financial instrument, and they have submitted for approval. Hence, we request the subcommittee to consider. This is for the rehabilitation of land of which its licensed petroleum storage and loading facilities are built. I'll allow Ms. Sebake to just highlight the salient issues on the matter and treat the matter as submission as being read. Thank you, Ms. Sebake.
Thank you, Ms. Mutwa, and good morning, members and the colleagues. The purpose of the submission is to request the PPS to approve the use of bank guarantee as Bidvest 10 terminals preferred financial instrument for financial provision for the rehabilitation of land on which its licensed petroleum storage and loading facilities are built. On 14 August Bidvest submitted an application proposing a bank guarantee as their preferred financial instrument with the guaranteed value determined by an independent study, and the study's findings which inform the guaranteed value are detailed in Annex B. The application is in accordance with the guidelines on financial provision for the rehabilitation of land, and we therefore recommend that the PPS approves the use of the bank guarantee as BTT preferred financial instrument for financial provision for the rehabilitation of land on which its licensed petroleum storage and loading facilities are built, and the bank guarantee document is attached here to as Annex A. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Sibake. Members, any questions, comments, or guidance from your side, please? Advocate Story, over to you, ma'am.
Thanks, Chairperson, and thanks to the presenter. My points are just points for clarity. And the first one is on page 4, paragraph 5.8. There is an indication there to say that we have also, or rather, the bank, or rather the financial instrument was submitted to DFFE. However, there is no indication in the submission as to what was DFF's view in terms of this particular financial instrument. So I just thought, as a point of enhancements, we could have been given that information to just get their views as to this particular financial instrument. And I think the second point, Chair, is on the next page, which is page 5, paragraph 5.10. I think somewhere in the submission we are talking about having the fund to be reviewed annually in terms of its sufficiency. And again, we also talk about 5 years and paragraph 5.10. And I just couldn't understand the difference in timing, whether are we saying we're doing it annually, and how does the 5-year fits into the annual process, or is it 5 years? However, within that 5 years, on an annual basis, we then look at the sufficiency of the cover. Chair, those were just 2 points that I wanted and the team to assist me with in terms of understanding the submission. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Advocate Stole. Madam Massetti.
Thank you, Chairperson, and thank you to the presenter. Chairperson, I just want to find out first, I do understand that this is one of the options that are available in the regulations, but I think it's important for us to ensure the issue of security of the fund. It's one thing that we take away money into the tariffs and make an allowance for this, but if the tariffs, but the most important thing is the security of the fund. And that is one of the aspects. So I want to check whether this will be safe and will be available as and when it is required. Whether the team has considered the risk associated with the bank guarantee, especially if the funds are held for some reason and therefore payment would not be made. So this is just one example, for instance, that I have with regards to a bank guarantee. So I just want to then check the issue of security and other risk pertaining to non-payment to the recipient or to the beneficiary thereof for whatever reasons. The security also goes to the extent to which the creditors may be in a position to access such funds. So if that can be clarified, and then also the issue of non-payment of the funds to the beneficiary thereof. the other point, Chairperson, is on the issue of a mechanism that we are going to communicate or to use in ensuring that the value of the funds will be appropriate for when they are required. And these are things that we've stated, I think it's almost 10 years ago when we dealt with the issue of decommissioning allowance or cost or rehabilitation of land. And I'm not seeing anything that talks to the issue of inflation, for instance, as the index for ensuring the value of the funds. Lastly, Chairperson, what mechanism are we using on an annual basis just to check whether the funds are still available, given the fact that this is a bank guarantee, and also the issue of security and sufficiency of the funds? Those are the three questions from me. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I hope you can hear on my side. We're checking the last one was not so clear on my side, but I think we're saying that we need to check annually if the funds are still available. The second last was the mechanism to use in ensuring that the value of the fund would be increasing. In other words, you refer to inflation exceeding inflation. The first one was in essence about ring fencing of the funds and ensuring that those funds are kept and would be available as and when required to be paid to a licensee, to be paid to the beneficiary. And then you then respond to Ms. Tole's questions regarding 5 years versus 1 year and the feedback by DFFE. Over to you, Madam Bob.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and thank you to members for the questions. I'll start with the CEO's questions. Regarding the response from DFFE, we have a challenge of not getting any confirmation or any response when we are sending these copies to the DFFE. This is why that is not indicated in the submission. And we have tried a number of times to engage the DFFE on this matter. But we are not, those engagements are not yielding any results. And what we do is to continue to send the copies to the DFFE because they are the responsible or the responsible entity for environmental affairs. So also in terms of the legal advice or legal opinion we got, it was stating that NESA cannot be the beneficiary. So it has to be the DFFE. Hence, we are sending this to the DFFE. So there is that challenge, members, where we are not getting any response from them. And then coming to the issue of annual review versus 5-yearly review, the requirements in the guidelines is that every 5 years we check we assess the financial instrument in place as to whether it's still adequate and also as to whether it's still sufficient. And with this particular guarantee, especially the value upon which the guarantee is based, which is that figure I cannot state here, is based on the requirement as at 30 April 2024, which necessitates that we conduct annual reviews of sufficiency. So what we will be conducting on an annual basis is whether there is that escalation by CPI and whether the net present value is still adequate. So that's what necessitated that we add an additional layer of the annual review over and above that review of adequacy and assessment and adequacy and sufficiency that is required in terms of the guidelines. So that's why there's two requirements there stated. And then coming to Ms. Maseti's questions, the first question related to the issues of security of the fund, also against creditors. That guarantee, in our assessment, it is safe from creditors because the financial institution there guarantees that they will be paying the amount to the DFFE should the requirement come. So the only trigger would then be a claim from the DFFE. And then we've done all these assessments of safety against creditors, and it has passed, Chairperson, those tests because it's specifically for the rehabilitation of land on which BTT's facilities are built. And the only trigger for the issuance of the funds is a claim. And the second question was, how do we then guard against non-payments by the entity? So what we are doing is to also do this annual assessment. So we have added a requirement in terms of the audit, the regulatory financial audits, where we also ask the auditors to review that and confirm that the guarantee is in place and the entity is paying. And what we also require from licensees once the guarantee or a financial instrument is approved, especially with regards to guarantees, is for them to send us on an annual basis a copy of the guarantee and a confirmation that it is still in place. I think I've already touched on the issue of the inflation adjustments, where for this particular guarantee, we have to do the annual reviews because the value is based on the requirement as at 30 April 2024. But then we have to do this confirmation that it is escalating and it is sufficient. And I think I have answered all the questions at this point, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Bobo. So it's a 5-year review with the annual checks in line with what you have already explained. I don't want to repeat that, but I think it's going to be crucial to get the feedback from DFFE beyond this point, and let's be able to escalate it to the highest level because it is important that there is their feedback is truly provided. But over to you, Madam Twa.
Chair, I think you've covered me. I wanted to emphasize that we will then take it up with the senior management because we've had while we're preparing the guidelines, we had a discussion with them. So maybe we just need to then escalate it and ensure that there's sort of an understanding on what is the process in terms of us submitting this notification and their response. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. But over and above that, I think it's going to be important to also then, I'll say, enhance the document regarding responding and making it more explicit to the reader regarding the 5-year versus one year, the feedback from DFFE, also the issue of ring fencing and the mechanisms that will ensure the sufficiency of funds with them being at a higher rate than inflation, and then the annual reviews. I think for me, yes, I know that some of these things are there, but just to look at them in terms of them being clearly understood. With that, members, those enhancements, going further, let me go to the recommendation. It is to recommend that the PPS approves the use of a bank guarantee as BTT's preferred financial instrument for financial provision for the rehabilitation of land on which its licensed petrol facilities are built. The bank guarantee document is attached here to as Annexure A. By show of hands, members, if you support that the recommendation subject to those enhancements. Thank you, Madam Aseti, Mr. Kumete, Mr. Sbanda, Advocate Tolo, I also support. This then concludes item 5 and takes us straight to item 6, which is a decision and reason for decision on the multi-year tariff application by Island View Storage, P2I Ltd, trading as Bidvest Tank Terminals, BTT for short, for its petroleum storage and loading facilities located in Richards Bay, KwaZulu-Natal province. Over to you, Madam Twa and your team.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, on this application on 27th of June, there was an amendment to the BTT license, and following that, then a tariff update was submitted. Ms. Mahupela will take us through the tariff while considering the submission as being read. Thank you.
We've got 2.5 minutes, Madam Mahupela.
Thank you. Good morning, members, and good morning, colleagues. The purpose of this submission is to request the PPS to approve tariffs applied for by BTT for its petroleum storage and loading facilities for 1st July 2024 to 30 June 2027, and also to approve the decision and reasons for the decision attached as Annexure A. On 27 June 2024, the Energy Regulator approved the amendment of the condition of BTT combined license, which necessitated BTT to submit a tariff application due to inclusion of additional tanks following the amendment of the condition. On 20 May 2024, BTT submitted its multi-year tariff application. Assessment of the tariff application is detailed from paragraph 6.9 of the submission. The proposed tariffs are mainly decreasing when compared to previous approved tariffs due to new tanks, change in apportionment of assets, and cost allocation. The difference in tariffs calculated by NERSA and BTT is mainly due to different REP, the work values, tax, which ultimately resulted in AR values being different, and also different capacity used, which is design capacity for BTT and operational capacity for NERSA. It is therefore recommended that PPS approves the tariff for BTT storage and loading facilities, and that the decision and reasons for decision be approved for publication. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Mahupela. The recommendation is on page 17 of 60, under paragraph 14.1, running from 14.1.1 to 14.1.2. The table 16 with the tariffs. Members, any questions, comments, or guidance from your side? Mr. Kumede.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning to you and the members again. I support the submission. I just wanted to understand that whether something is implied or should it be explicit. If we've got fees that, if we've got a tariff which is rands per month, rands per cube per month, is it implied that if somebody were to store a product for a fraction of the month, that the tariffs are prorated? If it is implied, it's not better to be explicit. I'm assuming that the tariffs are actually prorated, but is that the understanding? And so with somebody, I guess it's maximum prices rather than actual prices, but is it implied that the maximum price therefore should be prorated depending on the number of days? Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Kumede. I would then request a response, seeing that there are no other hands. A response from you, Madam Bowen.
Thank you, Chair. All right. Maybe just to clarify the implementation. This works more like rental. So BTT will rent out a particular tank. So all of that tank will then be allocated to the customer. So the customer may use all of the capacity or a fraction of it, but then they would be paying for the tank. So it's not to say the tariffs are prorated per cubic meter per se, but then they are allocated that full capacity of the particular tank being rented or leased to them. I hope that is clear, Chair.
Madam Makgopela, you seem like you wanted to say something also.
Thank you, Chair. I think I'm covered. I wanted to say almost the same thing, that it's rented per month. Thank you.
So it's more in line with what is in the contract, but I think it's a matter that we should also look at in terms of what that then means, especially if one looks at the new, if one wants to have a new entrant, how that will be dealt with without disadvantaging that new entrant. But over to you, Mr. Komete.
Thanks, Chair. I think in terms of the cubic meter stored, I mean that for me makes sense. Whether you put half or you actually rented the full tank. But I was more thinking in terms of if I'm storing something for half a month, do I still pay the full rent, or do I? Because I know you see the beauty with the cubic meters part is taken care of in the formula. If I'm only storing 1,000 cubes, I pay for the 1,000 cubes. If I'm storing 2,000, but what I'm saying is that it's more the time that is it prorated in terms of time. That is it implied in this that if I'm only storing for 2 weeks, that this tariff that I should be looking at should then be that divided by 2, for instance, because it's now half a month. That is the question. I'm not sure I'm being clear, but that's the question I'm asking, Chair.
No, I think from my side you are very clear, Mr. Komete. The thing is that this is more in tune with the current contractual arrangements in terms of the renting out of these terms, which are more like rented out on a monthly basis. And that is the issue that it could work for those that are in now, but it's something that should be checked out with respect to being able to accommodate third parties with different needs in a fair manner. And I think that this is something that the team should look at. Just for completeness sake. I see that you've got your thumbs up. Madam Bogo, you understand
Yes,
what needs to be done.
I do understand. We'll do that. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. As I said earlier on, members, the recommendation is on paragraph 14 regarding the approval of the tariffs set out on table 16 for the BTT facilities in Richards Bay, KwaZulu-Natal province for the period 6 November 2024 to 31st June 2027. And then the decision and reasons for document the reasons for decision document is attached as Annexure A. Members, by show of hands, if you support the recommendation. Thank you, Madam Massetti. Thank you, Mr. Komete. Thank you, Mr. Sibanda. Advocate Story. Thank you, Advocate Story. This then concludes item 6. We're going to move to item 7, which item 7 deals with the petroleum pipelines regulation division's geographic information system roadmap, which is the GIS, noting that there would be an ArcGIS portal project demonstration once the meeting has been closed, just for members a full appraisal on thereon. Madam Twa and your team.
I think, Chair, may I ask Mr. Mapodi to then take us through the noting of the progress made so far on the submission on the GIS roadmap. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair, and good morning, members and colleagues. The purpose of the report is to request PPS members to note the progress made so far on the implementation of the Petroleum Pipeline Regulation Geographic Information System roadmap. As of 30 September 2024, 100% data for current license storage and loading facilities have been uploaded into the GIS portal. And also Transnet pipelines network data has been uploaded into the portal. The attributes displayed are total number of tanks, design capacity, facility address, and number of facilities. It should be noted that further attributes will be added to the portal when updates are made to the mapping tables and collecting the data accordingly. More will be seen when the display is done after the when we do the presentation, the other presentation. It is recommended that the Petroleum Pipelines Subcommittee note the progress made so far on the implementation of the Geographic Information System for PPR roadmap. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mapoli. Members, you note that one has been harping on this whole issue of the GIS being developed, because it also fits nice and neatly with the orderly development aspect of our legislation as an object. You've also seen the kind of improvements when it comes to the diagrams and the depiction of facilities in the various provinces or regions of our country. The need then to enhance that even further, so that we just don't have information, but we're able to turn that information into intelligence, as it also talks to the issue of the desirable spatial development of our country in respect of petroleum infrastructure. I wonder if there are any comments, questions, or guidance, members. If not, you may just raise your hands to confirm that you are happy to note this progress report. Thank you, Mr. Kumede. Thank you, Mrs. Banda. Don't see Madam, thank you, Madam Maseti. And then thanks, Advocate Tole. I also note this progress with the Geographic Information System roadmap. From my side, I would like to thank the members of the public that have been following us through the various live streaming platforms. Thank you, members, for your questioning, your comments, as well as guidance that you always provide to this team that is on a continuous improvement path. Like to thank the Secretariat also for all the admin work that she does behind the scenes. From my side, thank you. We then